Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another gameplay video. It's my birthday today, so I'm just going to be playing some fun decks. In particular, this one, it is a green-white kind of Boggles style deck. There's not any true Boggles in Standard. By that, I mean a 1/1 hexproof. But we do have some interesting stuff. So, creature base. The big one here is Paradise Druid. This is the one that I tend to want to peg every enchantment I can on, because at the very least, it does have hexproof. At least part of the time. We do get Selesnya Champion as a way to kind of bolster the rest of our board, but also just draw cards, keep us going. Starfield Mystic helps us cast these enchantments. Not all of the decks that I have seen run Starfield Mystic, but what I find is that if you don't necessarily target this with anything, and instead you target other stuff, obviously they're going to want to take care of that, and then this just also becomes a threat off the back end of that if they deal with it. So there's a lot of plus to this. The Life's Bounty here, just another way to kind of protect things. It also works as a decent way to, early game creatures, start pegging on enchantments if you need to. It does have lifelink built in, which is kind of nice. Ginger Brute here is fine. I'm kind of testing it out. It has like built-in unblockable, which is kind of nice. It's not necessarily 100% unblockable. There's a lot of mono ray going around, but I do think that this has some legs, so I'd like to see how this goes. Only running a 3 of those, of course, but obviously most of the rest of the deck here is all just enchantment stuff. So Season of Growth is kind of the engine card. Anytime you get a creature out, you get to scry one. Anytime you cast a spell that targets the creature, you get to draw a card. That, in tandem with Selesnya Champion, in tandem with Angelic Gift, Selesnya Training, really just any of these enchantments, just means that you're going to be drawing a ton of cards. All That Glitters is very much the Hail Mary of this deck. You can really, really get a lot of power out of this. Excuse me. Sentinel's Eye is very, very important for the Paradise Druid in particular. Just means that you can attack in and not lose the hexproof, which is great. This helps you get through a very wide board. Karametra's Blessing, excuse me. Just a way to kind of protect things, and if you really need to deal some damage or draw some cards while you've got Season of Growth out, you can. And I think that's kind of it. It's a pretty straightforward deck. This gives trample. This gives flying. This obviously taps things down. All ways to get in for that damage that you really, really need to. So we're going to try this out in some ranked games. Hopefully you guys enjoy this deck. These games, in my assumption, are going to go fairly fast. I have play tested just a bit. And they definitely went fast. There were a couple that kind of went on a little bit long, but we'll see if we stick to our normal 3 games or not. I am not 100% sure. But yeah, so I'm excited with this deck. I do think this is a really fun one. Not a very keepable hand, in my opinion. We could tag this on, but we really need a green source for either of these. And we don't have a ton of engine cards. This does help. So Selesnya Training helps just because it draws you a card, but unfortunately not the best. I have in playtesting this deck, so I'm running, I believe it's 20 lands, because we curve out. Our top of the curve is 3. Most of our deck is 2, and Starfield Mystic makes a lot of it cost 1. So I'm running 20 lands to keep it down pretty low. Don't know if that's 100% correct, and I don't know if our skew between green and white is necessarily correct. Oh, also Castle Ardenvale just spits out creatures, so if we do get stranded enchantments in our hand and they clear the board or something, we at least have something to peg them to. So we will see. It looks like our opponent Karn Liberated 23, taking a little bit long to decide on their mulligan, but that's fine. So yeah, not that anybody asked, but because it's my birthday, I'm going to talk about my birthday. I have no plans for my birthday. I get a half day at work, so I'm enjoying the half day off, and that's about it. I'm going to hopefully work on some Resolve stuff. I've been scheduling a lot of posts on our social media accounts just to kind of get everything ahead. I've got some plans this weekend, so trying to make sure I'm ahead a little bit. We are not going to keep. We're going to mulligan away. Ugh. This is almost worse. Ugh. We do mulligan pretty aggressively here. I'm going to do it one more time, and we'll keep this. What to keep? think we'll ditch the Setessan training and the Setessan champion here. We can't really afford to lose out on too much, so we don't want to have dead cards in our hand by any means. Very aggressive mulligan though. Don't have high hopes for this off the bat, but we'll see. Card Liberated being a bit slow. That's okay. Take your time. Everything's fine. But yeah, so I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. It's been very productive for me. I've been recording like crazy, which has been really fun, but obviously quite a bit of work. I'm going to offer the trade here, because next turn we can just Starfield Mystic, and I didn't think they would trade off anyway, so. The life gain deck. This is not necessarily the best matchup for us for a multitude of reasons. The biggest one just being that because they go wide so quickly, it's very difficult for us to deal with that. We're very, Voltron strategy all in on like a couple cards, and so we don't tend to go wide very often. We really need some card draw, which again we've got plenty of, but we need green to really get there. So gonna be a bit of a challenging matchup, I believe. But we'll see what they want to do. Ajani's Pridemate really, really strong in this deck. Obviously, this is just the mono white life gain kind of thing. I used to play a mono white life gain deck and really loved it, actually. But I don't necessarily think in this general meta it's the best thing in the world. I mean, it plays out its hand very, very quickly, and if you lose your creatures, you're pretty gone. So, well, don't have a lot here. I am going to do this. Maybe that was incorrect, but that's fine. Let's just go ahead and swing in. If they wanted to for one on this, that's fine. The great thing about Sentinel's Eyes is it gets to come back, which is awesome. Really do enjoy that. They are severely thinking about everything that they're doing. Which I guess is, I mean, that's good, but yeah. P.S. The reason I did this is so I would have an efficient blocker for the Impassioned Orator. Yeah, you got it. Tons and tons of healers, Hawks. Yeah, it's a very clean answer. Definitely looks like we're losing this game already. If we do just draw another land, I'm probably just going to concede. There's not much we can do at this point. We'd have to draw quite a number of things. That's a thing. It's not a great thing. Yeah, I think we pass. We have to be able to leave up some trades here. They don't have, like, I mean, they've just got a lot of creatures. They're all just kind of pingers, but it's very much widening the gap between our life totals here. So, unfortunately, not much we can do. I'm just going to go ahead and trade these off here. We're not doing a whole lot. If they have a blowout card here, we're losing anyway is the takeaway. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and concede. That was a very fast lose, but that is what happens. This deck very much on the aggressive side of mulliganing can really, really flop. So we'll give it 2 more tries at the very least and see how we're doing. It may also be that there's just some better options for this deck. I know I've seen a couple Bant lists that are running like Staggering Insight for extra card draw. I think that's fine, but because this is such a low curve deck, my opinion is that you should try at the very least to mitigate any mana issues as easily as possible. And so this seems like the best way to do it is to try and keep it 2 color. I do think green and white is the right combination if you are going to keep it 2 color. Ugh. This is an amazing hand if we draw a land. So do we risk it? Do we risk it? If we draw one more land, we are in amazing shape. This is risky, but I'm going to try it. Probably not the right call. I mean, the safer call would definitely be to mulligan, but this is such a strong hand and such a low curve deck that I do think it's worth it. Everything here is obviously a 2-drop, but Starfield Mystic, making everything essentially a 1-drop is going to make it really, really nice if we can get that land out. Well, we didn't get a land. We did get a playable card, which is nice. Swing in for 1. Really, really need a land off the top. If we can get it, I don't know, honestly, if the right call is to... Oh, man. Not good. So, obviously, we're against Azorius control. I don't know if... So, we can't overcommit to the board because they do have Shatter the Sky. And that's always a bit of a worry. So, we'll see what we can do to avoid that a little bit. I don't want to run out necessarily Paradise Druid on top of everything else, just because that could end badly. Of course, I have to draw a land first, so... Oh, Bant. Bant Enchantments? That's interesting. Not what I expected, so maybe they don't... Well, they still might have Shadow to the Sky, but... they do have the mana for it now. Sky to the top. Yep. Oh, man. I'm going to continue playing out these little 1-drops because if they want to shatter on these, that's fine. But we really desperately need a land. Hopefully we can pull one. This might have just been a bad keep, though. I'm sure it probably was, but hey. I'm sure I will be told in the comment section. All right, opponent, what you got? I wonder what this deck is actually trying to do. I haven't seen many Bant lists. Again, I did talk about there was a Bant list that's a version of the deck I'm playing. I don't recall seeing many other Bant lists around. I mean, I know there's Bant control decks out there and things like that, so I don't know. I just don't know the end game. I'm sure it's like a Dream Trawler or something along those lines. Cruise style running out the clock here. Well, I hate to say it, but if we time them out, we do win, so there is that. Hydroid Crisis, yep. You got it. And look at there, we did get a land. What do we do here? I'm questioning if Paradise Druid is the right play or not. I kind of don't think so. I'm going to play this out. No attacks. So if we draw another land, what's our hope? We could Season of Growth first. Obvious, I think, to do that. Then we can either Angelic Gift or... Well, it depends on the land, too. If it's a green source, that pushes us into Paradise Druid territory. So I'm going to guess they don't have Shadow the Sky. So I'm a little more confident in running out Paradise Druid. We will see. Obviously no blocks. We could have blocked here. Don't know if that's the right call, to be honest. Or we can just not get a land. Let's do this. Let's do this. Draw the land. That's good. Let's get this Nissa out of here. Oh, duh. For some reason, I thought I played That was just stupid. But that's fine. Banishing Light. Yep, you got it. Sorry for the dog barking, by the way. I wish we had drawn a white mana because then we could have done this on that and saved it, but we did not. Man, they are just, yeah, tempoing us out here. Yep, you got it. Man, every green land in the book. Okay, so, it's just Paradise Druid here. Do not need green. There's our white. All right, well, this is certainly going to be rough. We can Angelic Gift the Paradise Druid next turn to try and get rid of this, but if they've got an answer for the All That Glitters, we're definitely not in good shape. Wow. Yeah, you got it. I kind of just have to assume we lose here, but we will see. This is definitely a rough keep. We didn't draw a few lands, so we were heavily set back, and that was a bad keep on my end, without a doubt. So no attacks. That's kind of interesting. So we are going to go ahead and play this land out here. I'm going to play the Starfield Mystic. Get that Scry. We don't want that. Going to draw 2 cards off of this. Second Season of Growth. Okay. I wish we had Sentinel's Eyes, but we don't. So I am going to pass. They're going to do, I mean, it's going to be pretty dang powerful if they do this, but we're not really attacking their lands anyway, I guess. So bounce All That Glitters. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say we lost that one. That was rough. Unfortunately, no lands at the beginning really set us back. So we'll try for one more. Unfortunately, not doing too well with this deck, but we'll see what we can do. I do think this is a fun deck. I think it has some obviously bad matchups and bad draws, and that's the real big problem with it. So maybe there's a version of this deck that changes up a little bit. Now this is a fairly decent hand. So we've got the Life's Bounty on turn 1, Starfield Mystic, or we can follow it up with something else. So I think we've got some options here. Go ahead and do this, and we'll do this. Looks like mono red, that's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and Sentinel's Eyes here. Get a little bit of life back. So they really need to like remove this. I'm actually gonna pass here. A lot of the time they run like, is it Infuriate or whatever it is to it's basically just a combat trick, but I just don't want to run myself into that if I don't have to. If I draw a white land, I can Starfield Mystic and All That Glitters. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Game 5. Yep. It's a very strong card for sure, but that's pretty good. Let's attack. I'm going to play out the Paradise Druid here. That way we do have backup if they go to remove the Life's Bounty. We can throw the Sentinel's Eyes on here, and then we've got backup All That Glitters. So one white land gets us in a really good position, which obviously is going to be the majority of our deck. So hopefully we can get there on that one. I would love to actually win one. That'd be good. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is just attack in here. I'm playing it very safe for a lot of reasons. And that is one of them. My assumption is they just block here. Yep. Cool. So we gain 7 up to 35. They are down to very few cards. Is it worth it to play either of these? I think, again, to stay safe, I don't want them to burn out Paradise Druid. So I don't think it's worth it to do that. If we could get like a Setessan Training or the Angelic Gift that gives this flying, we would be in amazing shape. Let's do this. Okay, cool. So we did win one, finally. So that is, I mean, that's the goal of the deck, is to just go over the top with enchantments. Hey, we ranked up, good for us. Ideally, it would have gone a little bit better, but we'll probably do another video with this deck and just see how it does a second time. Maybe we'll make some changes and see what we can come up with. Maybe add a third color. We'll play around with it, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure to leave a like or a comment down below. And as always, please make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of our awesome content. With that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next gameplay video.